I got a couple more decks posted today. This is one of them. Pinnacle Emissary was really impressive on Tuesday when we played it. And even though we've got a lot of other cards to get to, and we're going to get to some other ones today, I just decided I really wanted to play this deck. So Emissary's crazy. You have some insane turn ones where you really pop off. We have we played two builds. We played one build that's trying to turbo out Kappa Cannoneer. We were playing the Kappa Cannoneers in the sideboard in this version. We played a build that's in on Rottenmouth Vibrant Inskmere. I think that build is good too. Could see any of these variants landing on landing as the final version for these decks. And I think Emissary is really crazy. Now there's been some buzz about Time Sieve. I haven't seen any of the other lists, but this is how I decided to go with it. So the idea is that these decks are really powerful. They flood the board really quickly. You do need to be, in theory, pretty fast. And so the idea here is that if you play a few copies of Time Sieve, you can just kind of focus on going all in on the snowball plan. The snowball plan of I'm going to be making a ton of tokens, I'm going to be drawing a ton of cards, and then you're going to use Time Sieve to just take an extra turn and keep doing that too. We're playing to kind of complement this plan a much higher curve. We're playing Gadgeteer plus Urza, and then we have one Psy also. So Gadgeteer kind of does a Pinnacle Emissary thing of making a ton of artifacts, but Gadgeteer also goes really crazy with Urza, where you can just tap a clue, sack a clue, which allows you to churn through your deck so quickly, especially when you have a Pinnacle Emissary in play. So every time you cast an artifact spell, every artifact spell is draw a card, make a mana. It's a Manamorphose that's generating 1 mana every single time, and then you get another Pinnacle Emissary, you just get to go really crazy, and then you'll draw your deck, you'll take some extra turns, and win with your flyers. That's the general plan, and then it gets more interactive decks. You're going to side into the Kappa Cannoneers and smash them face, where this can be harder to assemble against decks that are breaking up your pieces with interaction, if that makes sense. Don't think there's anything else too crazy here. There's a few little flex spots. I decided not to play any of the equipment in the main, no Lava Spur Boots, no Shadowspear, because that's just not really what our game plan is about. That might be wrong, but I decided to play one Welding Jar for an extra 0 mana spell. Oh, wait. Okay, sorry. That's where that one card went. I was missing a card. Okay, we're going to play the 4th Memnite over the Moonsnare prototype. I'm going to keep the Welding Jar in. I was missing a card this morning. I'm okay, I guess I'll add a Moonsnare, which I wasn't in love with. Okay. I'll change that to the Mox Opal. Let's get going. And before Mox Opal do next Spinar, we'll see. I'll say that Pinnacle Emissary is so crazy in these Mox Opal decks. We have faced Meltdown and Wrath Disguise. We haven't faced Force of Vigor yet. It does really seem like it's a strategy that can be contained. I personally really like it when strategies like this are really popular. Strategies that you can just... It's just not that tough to sideboard for. So we have we're one short of Thoughtcasting on turn 1. And it's really close. Not quite there, though. Seems good. I cannot remember Cosmic Grand Zenith every time anybody asks me about it. What is it again? It's definitely not really high on my list, whatever it is. Oh, this card. Yeah, so this card can go into the Boros Delirium deck that we were playing last season. That deck was pretty good. Definitely one that I'm kind of interested in circling back to. It's not very high on my to-do list. I don't think the card is super good, but it does fit perfectly in the brew that we have, so we will play it at some point. Any use social engineering deck? That card has been good in drafts. I guess we could read this one because my opponent is doing nothing. Okay, I talked about this in my set review. I think this could be a good Omnath card and a Field of the Dead style strategy. Kind of open to it. How do people live like this? Crack the bauble, think 30 seconds, pass the turn, think 30 seconds. Yeah, you want to save the drum, I think, for the Pinnacle Emissary. Would you call this a version of Cheerios? I wouldn't, but you could maybe. You know, I don't really feel like this is necessarily a Cheerios deck, nor do I feel like it matters a lot to make that distinction, I guess. Can we take an extra turn here? I think we can. Don't know if we will. Trying to Stern Scolding this. They can't. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'm gonna want more relics. Maybe just one's okay. Yeah, let's play the rest over a couple Ornithopters. Yeah, excellent matches today. That was so funny. It's like, land, do nothing. Wait 30 seconds. Your upkeep, wait 30 seconds. Tap land, wait. Pass. Pinnacle Emissary, floated mana, realize you can't Stern Scolding. Concede. Just what is happening? I could turn one Thoughtcast, I guess. We're never gonna keep this hand. I don't think I'm gonna turn one Thoughtcast. I might actually. There's just been 2 Lotus Blooms. Okay, now I'm definitely going to. Cage for a channel artifact spell. I don't think Cage only subs creatures. How about Weapon Manufacturer or Gadgeteer? Well, you do not want to play Weapon Manufacturing in a deck that can't sack it. You can sack it to Time Sieve, but sacking it to Time Sieve is so silly. Where it's like, is that our plan? Sack our Weapon Manufacturing tokens to take an extra turn. When you're taking these extra turns, when you have these token generators, you should be winning anyways. This hand is pretty. This card is weak to Stern Scolding. So I don't know. I guess I'm just not that enthused by the thought, I suppose. I think I Thoughtcast over Relic. So I've got 4 artifacts here. A little late on the Sagas. I might just get bloomed out of the game. Do you have a budget option for Mox Opal? Theft. Crypto scam could work. You can bounce the tokens with Hercules or filler put. It doesn't sound that good to me. I think you got Arcbound Ravager. You have Viper as good options. But yeah, that plan doesn't sound particularly good usually to me. All right, let's hope they're on Tamashii and you got the Relic. They are making white mana, and then they portable hole my Relic. So I guess I should have played the other one. It's just so bad if I don't leave the sacrifice up. Might as well pop it. Darkstone with the 24 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Right on time, Vexing Bauble. Jeez Louise. Why are we portable holding the Relic? Tapping me out, I guess, of consign. Guess that makes sense. Alright, nothing too weird over there. Yeah, we're still working on the Mox Opal heist. I guess Moonsnare prototype would actually be possibly a budget Opal here. We saw a bunch of bubble. Yeah, we did. I don't know. It was just, we're dead. Yeah, so I do want to play the 04 robot also. It's weird because like that card really wants you to play like Mirror Enforcer type cards, and I don't know that Pinnacle Emissary does. Yeah, there's just so many possible affinity builds at the moment. I just want to take my time exploring all the options. Could you say Belcher and Boros Energy are the polar opposites of decks in Modern? Maybe. You could definitely say that. I don't even exactly know what it means, but you could say it. Okay, good to know about that one. Okay, what matchups are boxing relevant? This one, Living End, Neoform. So I guess I hold the bauble so that I can for sure cast this Thought Monitor. And you just sack it if it's detrimental to you. It's not that big a deal. Dude, my opponent does not like to play on the draw. Which is, I don't know, that's valid, I guess. Hate to mulligan double Emissary hands like this. Okay, well, we get to keep Emissary here. Am I keeping the Time Sieve? I think so. What was I saying? Yeah, I think just trying to play a fast Kappa Cannoneer or Rotmouth Viper or Inskbeer, these kind of decks. That's your plan against Wrath. It is not the best plan. Have you tried Timeline Color at all? We've seen one person play it in like a Crabvine deck, and I think another one also in a Soul Trader deck. I haven't built a deck with it yet. No. Well, punish for playing all blue-black mana. I was generally thinking that. So like the problem with playing like Spire of Industry is that you have these games where you just can't cast your Pinnacle Emissary turn 1. And you have a lot of stuff to get the red mana here, but we are getting kind of punished for it on this game. Could Arena of Glory still be playable? Probably not, no. I wouldn't think too much about that, to be honest. Probably pretty toasted here. Bad that we're doing so bad against Boros game 1 with this version. Usually, like with the other affinity builds, we feel a bit better. It's a pretty bad sign that we're struggling this much against them game 1 right now. Alright, can I go for the extra turn? I think I need to go for it. Let me see what my top card is. The ever gonna change? You think it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't think that changes much, but yeah, I do think we need to go for it. No cards in hand, drawing another one. Too bad the bridge doesn't trigger both of these. Yeah, the Gadgeteer is a little clunky, I agree. My opponent decides not to ping me. It's very nice of them. Curious why you went Underground River, not Darksteel Shore. It's like, it's so minor. Like, it doesn't really matter very much, but it's like, I think especially a deck that has 4 mana creatures, but I think in the other builds too, I would rather have a land that enters untapped always and a land that deals me damage sometimes than the land that enters tapped sometimes and never deals me damage. It's like certainly like a super duper minor point of contention either way. It's not something to get really gummed up on, I think. So I think let's just stick with the sideboard plan again one more time. Yeah, I did think about Glimmer Void instead. Glimmer Void could be right. I don't know. Why do you feel like Vivi would be great in these cheap artifact decks? She could be for sure. She's not going to be as good with the Ornithopter Midnight stuff though. So if I draw any 0 mana artifact next turn, then I have, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can Kappa Cannoneer. We're not the deck playing Grixis all artifacts. Why not play Basim? You could play Basim. We're just very early. Like, listen, chat. Pinnacle Emissary goes in like so many different versions of this deck. We've played. This is our third already. Like, it's way more complicated than why no. You know, just way more complicated. Yeah, Pinnacle Emissary has been very good. Our other two drafts did go better than this one though so far. Yeah, I mean, Glimmer Void's bad against Wrath Disguise, but it's not exactly like we're doing great against that card as it stands. Is weapon manufacturing with Time Sieve? It seems so incredibly Widmore. I'm not very interested in the plan. It's like the Psy tokens go really hard with Urza, and you get to like churn through your deck when it's your only payoff. The fact that it's like you have to have weapons manufacturing, a ton of artifacts, a card draw engine, and the Time Sieve for weapon manufacturing to be good, and it makes your mana worse. In this build, it's just not a thing. I think weapons manufacturing has some potential alongside Arcbound Ravager and Rottenmouth Viper, but I can't say that I was like particularly impressed with the card when we played it last. It definitely I wouldn't say that it was bad, but I wouldn't say that it seemed like the way to build this archetype. I think we just main phase this, see if we draw another 0. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 artifacts. So we're not killing them next turn. I'm almost definitely just playing second Kappa Cannoneer. Maybe if I drew Pinnacle Emissary. I mean, we could do both, I guess. Gadgeteer can't, because that card costs 3 mana instead of 1. Dingo called weapon manufacturing busted. Obviously, his list with outcome. I don't know if I've seen the list. Maybe I have. I'd love to look at it again. I'm not of the impression that it's busted. I think of all of the new affinity cards, it's like the least likely to have staying power. It's just like I just dislike that it's a card that for the most part requires you to do 3 things instead of 2 things. Like Pinnacle Emissary is good just with a lot of artifacts. You know what I mean? But weapons manufacturing, you need a lot of artifacts and you need a sack outlet that is kind of going to be lower card quality no matter what it is, right? So if your sack outlet is Arcbound Ravager, if it's, I mean, I do like Viper, but like Viper can be a little weird. Viper's maybe the best of them. Paradoxical Outcomes, lower card quality. No matter what it is, the card quality is lower than like the range where I usually want to be. We keeping this on the draw? Fuck it. It's kind of nice that it's good against Wrath Disguise. I agree with that. I think that is a good point. That might even be something I'm underrating. I named the Flooded Strand. I don't know. It could be kind of weird. This whole Pithing Needle fetch land situation. Because it's not even 0% of the time that you would want to not crack the fetch land because you have like double bombardment in your hand or something. Not that I don't think that's very I don't think that that's probably what's happening. But it gets a little weird when you're playing really nice and sometimes like you have a very flooded hand and you have like double bombardment or something. Possible at least. Is weapon manufacturing feels like a weird take on Disciple? You could call it that, I suppose. That is, if that's how you want to think about it. I meant manufacturing is fine. To call it busted, like any card that requires you to like cast 5 spells and then have a different specific payoff. To me, it just doesn't feel like it can be busted. I think we play the Gadgeteer over the Thought Monitor this turn. Could be a little risky if they have the Flage. But if they have the Flage, we have the Relic at least. I think I forgot to tap. Or did I? Think about Pinnacle Emissary. Affinity, solid deck you play there. There's the room for Tamiyo and Emery. I think Tamiyo plays poorly with Emissary in general. They have Wrath. Flage, number 2. Yeah, I think Tamiyo in general plays poorly with... Oh, sorry, Emery... Yeah, sorry, Tamiyo plays poorly with Emissary. You can, of course, play with one of these more normal builds. I do think that that's, of course, going to be, like, pretty fine. Okay, nice. They just went creatures. So let's go, I think, 1 mana, draw 2. It's going to make it pretty likely the Thought Monitor is also 1 mana. Might as well do this right. Okay, so now I have 6 artifacts, so this costs 1. Should I be interested in Pinnacle Emissary double Mox Opal this turn? Definitely gonna cast at least 1. Let me see what my top card is. It's a Kappa Cannoneer. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to go Pinnacle Emissary, Mox Opal, sack a clue token, Mox Opal, play around Wrath. Well, they would have had to just draw it, and I don't really know how we're what does playing around Wrath look like to you here? What does that mean? And what line is that? Tell me. I have no idea what that line is supposed to be. What game action are you taking with the play around Wrath line? I think I'm okay trading this for Ocelot Pride. I got plenty of clues. Maybe this attitude's wrong. Oh, sorry. It is definitely wrong because they can escape the Flage. Sorry. I should say it's a lot easier for them to escape the Flage. Okay, bad attack. So my Kappa Cannoneer, I guess I do need an artifact if I'm gonna... I guess I could play the Pinnacle Emissary and the Bridge to get the 7/7. But then they can jump with the Guide of Souls, so I have to dismember the Guide of Souls, but then I'm 1 mana short maybe. Okay, so... yeah, let's not play the Emissary then, so we can have the mana to dismember. Are we playing with our eyes closed? How are you a mod? I'm unmodding you for this. Be nicer. Are we both playing with our eyes closed? Still, this is just not good. Not a good comment, sorry. You have been unmodded. I think I'm okay to pay 4. Okay, good play. Let me see what I'm drawing. Maybe if I see like exactly Shadowspear, we take this. Okay, definitely blocking. Dr. Lubafu has redeemed 1 million points. Okay, is that for Padre? Is that for you? I'll take the sword. Okay, cool. think we spin. Not sure. Maybe I'm not sure if it's better to spin or if it's better to draw off the clues. Gig to 30 months now. Follow. Let's go. Congrats. Very exciting. Second, the clues is a lot better versus Wrath. That's true. That's a good point. Should we have to live our lives in crippling fear of Wrath Disguise? Is that a destiny that we're all set for? Track, 3 months. Welcome back. Had some success with Mardu, Ketchumus, Phoenix, Thick Historic. Nice. Very cool. Opponent taking their time here on their no card in hand, no decision. So yeah, this is not a Tezzeret deck. I know I said yesterday I wanted to play a Pinnacle Emissary Tezzeret deck. I still do. I ended up deciding I wanted to build the Time Sieve one last night instead. Your average Urza hit is probably about the same power level as drawing a card, maybe even worse. I think spinning is fine. I would have drawn. Yeah, it's like the more cards you draw, like the less mana and resources you have in general too. Like the clue tokens are all Mox Sapphires. They make my construct giant. It's a little bit weird. In our debut, the 53, welcome back. I haven't been able to play or consume content this year, but when I can pop over, it's still red-white energy on the side of the board. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Not only is it red-white energy, it's always like red-white energy, no decisions, no cards in hand, let's wait 3 minutes. It's so annoying. But what can you do? That's the world we live in. Energy is just the new Jund. Well, sort of if you live in like this mid-range wormhole. Where like, I don't know, I did play in that era, but I can even just now so scarcely remember what Jund mid-range was like all those years ago. I certainly don't feel like when my opponent casts a Tarmogoyf, do I feel the same way as when they casted a Johnny. Alright, 5 minutes later, they take their turn. They draw a land immediately. They played the land. They think. They concede. Let's go. Alright. This thing could be okay. Okay, I think let's try it. If we do draw a land, and then we can go Gadgeteer into Ornithopter and start Thoughtcasting. That could be a game-winning line with the Time Sieve that we play on turn 2. Giganta slander from documented Giganta hater. Wait, am I the Giganta hater in this conversation? Who is the Giganta hater? Why are they still playing Raptor? Amped Raptor is banned in Modern. They banned Amped Raptor, Ring, and Giganta all in one go. They're going to take to Indulgence Flip. Okay, Archaeologist. Thoughtseize Unearthed Snare. If I draw a Mox Opal, I can Thoughtcast next turn, right? Draw Psy. I think I'd rather have a clue than a 1/1 flyer. The deck that I saw playing Emissary Sieve, it also was including Starting Town and no artifact lands. I guess Starting Town's probably better than River. Not 100% sure. They do play the Thoughtseize. Did Giganta get banned in Pioneer? I don't know. I don't know what the hell's happening in Pioneer. Still too bad they banned Raptor instead of Guide Souls. It's just all so close. Raptor had all of the best starts, though. It's like, Raptor was the highest variance, but it was like Raptor into a Johnny, Raptor into Blood Moon, Raptor into Spyro, Raptor into Ring was like all unbelievably good. Obviously, like a lot of those starts get less easy to do with a theoretical Guide of Souls ban. All right, so let's hopefully cast a lot of artifacts and start taking some turns here. Okay, so I could go Pinnacle Emissary, Mishra's Bauble, and then I would have I would have 2 clues, and I would have one of the 1/1s, and I'd have this Ornithopter. Let me One clue. One. I think I'm sacking this. Ooh. It's a little weird, but. So yeah, I think I'm going to sack the Emissary also so that I can crack my bauble here. So I have 2 artifacts in play right now, and I'm going to have 4 when I play my Pinnacle Emissary. Okay, nice. I guess I'm a mana short of casting the Gadgeteer, so cast this. Or 2 mana short. Very cool. Alright, so we really want to keep this Urza for next turn. Let me go ahead and sack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I can go ahead and sack a clue also. I think I'm saving that for next turn. Raptor is weak against cyber cards you want to bring in? Like what? Okay, hold on. The Raptor is weak against cyber cards you want to bring, like Pyroclasm, where Guide is actively good against it. Guide of Souls is not actively good against Pyroclasm, and when you Raptor into Blood Moon or Raptor into, Raptor into Johnny is weak to Pyroclasm, but like Raptor into Ring isn't, Raptor into Removal Spell isn't. I don't know. It's a weird point to make, I think. I might be misunderstanding something. Guess I have to play this Opal first. I don't know. It does, to some extent, it just seems like people still just very much underrate how good Amped Raptor was. Like even like so long after its banning. It's just interesting to me. Oh, sorry, I meant to sack it on Tap Clue, obviously. Yeah, I think Amtraptor was bad against nothing. I think that's exactly true. All right, let's stop talking about Amtraptor. Look at that. I'm taking time. Why do I have to talk about Amtraptor? What's wrong with me? That I'm doing this right now. All right, that didn't look too bad. So we're up a game against Gorios. I have been liking the Needle more against them because it hits the Emperor Bones. I guess also Tommy on their deck and Frog. I do like the Welding Jar against them. They're going to have some targeted removal, I think. I think we just got the Psy. Yeah, you could maybe play Basim. I mean, I do like Basim a lot. Alright, well, Snap keeping this. Put it to the mold to 6 on the play. Okay, them having Thoughtseize for my Springleaf Drum is really, really bad, because now I can't Saga token turn 2. Has Psy been relevant? No. I wouldn't say it has been. Okay, drawing Mox Opal is obviously insane. I have a hard time imagining I'm ever popping the Mox Opal here. So let's hold these Ornithopters in our hand. We might draw Pinnacle Emissary. Might try Basim in the blue-red cutter deck. Not post Pinnacle Emissary, but pre Pinnacle Emissary, yes. I do usually like blocking a Frog with an Ornithopter. It just like makes them discard a card. So let's play out both of these. I guess I didn't need to play the second one. I won't ask why do you think the first copy is good. I won't ask why. Well, I guess you kind of are, but I mean we're a Time Sieve deck, right? So these things that put a ton of tokens into play. I feel like 9 is about the number I wanted, so I could be really in on this. Since having multiple copies in play is kind of the main way you actually enable Time Sieve. So the options were like the first copy of Side, the first like 3 mana Saheeli. I thought 3 mana Saheeli could be interesting because you could copy Pinnacle Emissary with it, but it doesn't trigger on the 0 mana artifact creatures, which is something I didn't like about that card. So you know those are the decision points, I guess. I think let's go ahead and cast the Urza while our opponent's tapped out. Guess we'll play this first. Was that board on game 1 guaranteed win? Oh yeah. Okay, well I'm sure I'm glad my... Okay, well I guess maybe I shouldn't be that glad my opponent's countering that because that means they have Wrath Disguise in their hand. But they don't have a land. They don't have another white source, so there's a good chance they just miss on their white source here, and we just kill them with a construct next turn. That's bad. They are at 1. Notably not 0. Do you think it's better to leave this back to block so they're not drawing a bunch of cards? Oh, they sack the flare. Okay. The Shadowspear is in the sideboard. I don't think it's one you want in your deck post board against Esper Gorios either. Another copy of Pest Control. I mean, if they hit just Needle, whatever, I guess. Dingo played Upheaval variant. Upheaval's weird with all the token generating. I guess it might be good. You just make a ton of mana, then you replay all your stuff, get all your tokens back. I know everybody always wants the Upheaval Urza thing to work. They keep a card on top, then they unearth their Psychic Frog. There's still a Needle on it, but they have the Pest Control in their hand. Yeah, the munition stuff is weird. It just, to me, I just don't like... I don't like the fact that you have to go so big with it, but maybe I'm just thinking about it wrong. It could be pretty good. So they're going to cast the Pest Control and attack. Ooh, I guess I can't block. I thought they would have to fly. They discard a Thoughtseize. They made for 2 down to 17. They have 3 cards in their hand. They still don't have... They're all spells. We draw 2 cards. Can't do anything with them. Thanks, Ain. I think they're treating Pest Control as a Stone Rain. Well, it's a little bit better than a Stone Rain because it also unlocks the Frog, but you're right. So if I hit them for 1, then their fetch lands are turned off, which is nice. About to play a second lethal creature. Think they have a flare? I think they have a flare. They do nothing, though. We got 2 lethal creatures in play. They fly the Frog, knowing that they can't leave it back to block, effectively. So they're looking for, like, Goryo's Atraxa. They're looking for Solitude. They discard an Oculus before damage. It doesn't mean they have Unearth in their hand. They might just do that. I would probably do that anyways. All right, and I was right about that. Okay, so after losing to Boros 2 rounds, almost not playing the deck, now we're 3-0, beat Boros. Let's get a trophy prediction going. All right, this hand is good if we draw... Okay, I think weirdly Urza Saga is not that good of a draw. I don't know, just any 0, any land is good. I think we need to keep. Do you think Tasigur will be brought back with Cosmic Wave? We played Tasigur with Cosmic Wave yesterday. It wasn't super well. It does seem like Cosmic Wave has some potential. I think like the Jund aggro builds I'm not too excited about. Alright, let's wait. Obviously bad draw. Okay, discard. 5 mana, 3/4. Look at top card anytime. Cast artifact spells from the top. Artifacts have tap for a blue. Spin this mana only to cast spells from the top of your library. I mean, that part's a really tough sell. Okay, so we're up against Neoform, but we do have... I guess I'm down on the cages, right? I have 1 cage, 1 Vexing Bauble. I haven't seen Neoform in a little while. Yeah, this was also not a very helpful draw. Maybe my hand was a bad keep. I don't think I'm supposed to go Pinnacle Emissary for a single 1/1 and then pass, so passing back again. Top of library is still unhelpful. My opponent's also doing nothing, so that's nice. Yeah, the fact that you can only cast cards off from it's like the top is pretty tough, and like you can't cast Thoughtcast. The lands get stuck on the top. Other creatures get stuck. Okay. New card, Aura Borid won the challenge. I don't know that one. Oh my gosh. I got monologuing. Okay, I need to unban the guy who said I was playing with my eyes closed. He was right. Not unban, remod. Turn 5, baby. Is my opponent going to be able to do anything? There's another tap land on the top of their library. So I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. They sure are thinking a long time here. Small dude, Tilbo blue mana, Junior by Moonlight can be used to cast something anywhere except from hand. Saw nuance what's worth. Yeah, I shortcut it because like, what does that actually mean? You know, you're gonna cast it from the hand. Like what other spell could you possibly, or what other zone could you be casting it from? Like with Emery, I guess it's like it's really minor. So they get Xenagos. Am I dead to this? I can block 3 toughness of this only. Oh, then they have the Irini also to stop me from doing that. So yeah, it looks like I am dead. These can only block creatures with flying. Does Xenagos give flying? Oh, okay, Quantum Riddler. Okay, that's relevant. Let's bring in the Harbingers on the play, I think. Need a little bit of extra juice. I'm going to keep in the Welding Jar for sure. I want to keep in the Time Sieves. Let's cut the Relic. Cut the Sai every time so far. 2 Ornithopters. Maybe go down 1 Time Sieve over bringing in all these Harbingers. You can use the mana to activate Equip, Spellbomb, Saga. Can you? I thought it said only cast spells. Yeah, it only casts spells. You can't use it for abilities. Interesting to do something interesting. Unstable Amulet and the non-zone mana. I mean, this card is 5 mana too. I think I'm not in. Wait, this is 62? Oh, I didn't. I don't know what I did wrong. Oh, these are 2 Ornithopters. They didn't quite make it out. I think we're supposed to keep these kind of hands. One short of a turn 1 Thoughtcast, though. So they have like a Nature's Claim up. NASA launched in 42 minutes. What did they launch into? I've been looking at a lot of space stuff lately. On theme with Edge of Eternities. I'm an earshot at the launches, even the middle of the night. You know, Dallas and Houston have always had a long rivalry, but it is pretty cool that y'all have NASA. Did you consider Whir? No, not at all. No. Hate Whir. All right, no trophy. Let's get a 4-1 prediction going. All right, we're keeping on the draw. Here's what we capped. Would you say Goblin Engineer is good now? I mean, it's playable in one deck, I think, and that deck. I did used to like Goblin Engineer in like that green-red breach deck too, where you would just play one grinding station, and then you would just entomb it with the engineer basically, and then whenever you would cast breach, you'd go off, but kind of minor. So they're probably against red blue through the breach here. Do you ever draft or play sealed? Sometimes, but I mean, for the most part, I just need to be focused on modern, and by the time I could get around to it, I'm not that interested, I guess. But I do like to play limited. All right, let's draw another land or a Mox Opal or something. Pinnacle Emissary, maybe. Welding Jar is not ideal. Yikes. I guess if we draw a land, we can go Urza, play all these spin Urza, and then also take an extra turn. That might be okay. They're just going to K-Command into through the breach beam. Yeah, I just pulled up the Shape a New build. I don't know if I'm going to play this or the Shape a New build. Let me know what you'd rather see. We see the mono white anti-causal deck playing also Starfield Shepherd, one All Fate Stalker, or the Simic Birthing Ritual deck that's trying to Shape a New into Instone. I'm worried this build is too grindy, but I was really looking for a blue and green deck that's interested in being really grindy, and like that's certainly the Birthing Ritual deck. A lot more Shape a New comments. Probably a good chance we play both. So they could have hardcast this, and they chose not to. Maybe they're looking for a payoff for it through the breach. We could do both, but or we could try to do both. You know, there's a chance one just like breaks away and you want to play 2 leagues. Is Teamer an option? Teamer Battlecry is not an option, no. You'll play like one Harbinger on the play, I guess. I've seen some people try K-Command creativity. In general, I'm not a big fan of being like, I'm going to put cards in my deck so that when I draw K-Command, this really, really broken card, this other card is going to finally be good. Perspiring Mike with the 51. Thank you. Welcome back. Ray Sheik with the 49. Welcome back also. Yeah, okay, so sorry. Someone wanted... I forgot about this. Someone mentioned this and I missed also. Okay, they're playing one Orboroid, which is... At the beginning of combat your turn, put X counters on each creature where X is this creature's power. Wow, I cannot believe 4 mana 3/3. I guess 4 mana 4/2/4 1. It's pretty interesting. They're still playing the Neoform tech, which is cool. I guess Neoforming into that for a big board can be good in this deck. I did consider Third Path Iconoclast. The fact that it doesn't trigger off Ornithopter and Midnight's pretty tough for me. Any list with biotech specialists? I need to reread that one too, I guess. Can't you do warp and birthing ritual things? Okay, here's every birthing ritual comment on this. Well, Spike, can't you birthing ritual with the warp cards? But like the thing is, all of the warp cards, they cost like 5 mana. They're like 5 mana value. There's a couple that are like 4 and 3, but for the most part they're 5. And how do we build this deck, this birthing ritual deck, where we just have a bunch of 6-drops or some 6-drops to birthing ritual into? Is a 6-drop Primeval Titan? What does that look like? I don't know. I'm genuinely asking you because I don't know how to build this deck. I guess I should have not played this so I could have drawn Urza Saga. 5, 6. I'm genuinely asking. I have no idea how you're supposed to build this deck. I'm gonna try to figure it out, like we always do. But there's been a lot of like, oh, this seems like something you could do, and not a lot of like ideas on how to make that work. You know. Carnosaur, yeah, Carnosaur could maybe be a direction. I don't know if I'm super excited. That is helpful. Is there ritual extra less so you don't need 6s? I guess you don't need 6s. That's true. You could just try to birthing ritual into other 5-drops and stuff. That might be fine. That might totally be the way to build it. But that's kind of what I'm getting at. Is I'm confused on it. I don't feel like I have an idea on what the best build is going to be. And I'm trying to understand myself. So yeah, maybe just like quantum riddling into other quantum riddlers is totally fine. I could see that being the case. So I think I cast Psy, then attack, and then play Ornithopter post combat to best play around K return, although they just have dispute. Yeah, that might just be good. Just birthing ritual and the quantum riddlers and solitudes and stuff. Yeah, ritual warped ritual riddler and unwarped seems good. Honestly, yeah, and you get to play when you're green. You get to be Nissa. Like you only have one Nissa that can dig for your solitudes. You can maybe also play Risen Reef, although I guess Reef like doesn't go into 5-drops, which is kind of tough. Probably Starfield Shepherd, maybe Starfield Shepherd. Just bring up the concept. I mean, yeah, we've heard the concept a lot. Is kind of what I'm saying. Like we know that there's something there, but I've just been kind of confused. I do think I've probably been thinking about it wrong. I think that my thinking that you really want to go into 6s and there are no good 6s, like it's Carnosaur, is like as I agree is your best option. The fact that that's your best option probably does mean you just don't do that and you just go a bit smaller. I think that does make a lot of sense. I think I'm going to cast the Gadgeteer and be in pretty good shape if they do not through the breach next turn. I do have a build with the Angel Warp card. I think are not playing that next, but maybe the league after. Maybe have your non-creatures be Time Warp and Ephemerate. Maybe, yeah, like actually winning the game is something you got to think about. Is there any combo with Gadgeteer? It's not like there's not like an infinite combo, but there's like you kind of churn through your deck. You know what I mean? All right, 3-0 and 3-2. Yeah, let's pivot over to Shape anew, I think. Okay, so Instone played really well yesterday in the